Welcome to Dancing with the Odds. It's October 25th, 2024. I'm Dennis Truska, and my fellow Rad Dads, Aaron Patterson and Shaun Thompson, are not with me right now. However, fear not, we will still be able to put a show together for you, and you will be hearing from both of them shortly. In the meantime, I appreciate you for joining us as we strategize, bet, and try to bet our way to $10,000. So smash that like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel for all the latest on our exciting journey. Okay, so before we get too much into it, as you can see, I'm by myself. Aaron and Shaun, we've just been so busy this week. It's another one of those weeks. We have a million things going on top of our kids' activities. We just weren't able to be in the same place at the same time. So we're going to each do our own video, and then we'll put it all together and send it out to you. And hopefully it'll be a good product, and you can see what we're thinking as we try to win some bets this week. Okay, so we're coming off a very, very brutal weekend. The games were not kind to us. We thought we did a great job picking them. We came very close on a few misses, but that's gambling, right? That's why it's called gambling. So it was brutal. We were 2-4 overall this weekend, but we're ready to get back on the horse. Before we get into what our overall records are, I want to say that we still owe the Navy fight song to Matt and to the Fanatics podcast. Obviously, we're not able to find any time to do it. We still are going to do it. We have not forgotten. I also want to say shout out to all of our listeners. Thank you for helping us. We have surpassed 11,000 views on our YouTube channel. Our little humble podcast here is starting to grow on YouTube, and we appreciate all of you. We are up to 38 subscribers, so thank you so much. We'd love to get to 50, okay? Here's the deal. If we get to 50 subscribers, we're doing a giveaway. We're going to give something away, all right? What are we going to give away, you ask? Well, guess what? We have Dancing with the Odds swag now. That's right. Just a couple days ago, we launched our online store. It is live, so go check it out. We got t-shirts, we got hoodies, we got koozies, we got coffee mugs, we have a pint glass. Go check it out. There's some really cool stuff on there. I think you'll like what you see. Every purchase just goes back to expenses, helps us keep this thing running and be able to have gear and, pay for the software that we use and all of that. So every little bit helps. So I'll tell you what, we get to 50 subscribers, we'll start a giveaway. We'll give away some of that swag. Okay. So awesome. So let's jump into it, this week's episode. So keeping track of our bets this last weekend, it was tough for a couple of us. One of us actually did pretty well considering how brutal some of these games were. So some tough beats for Aaron and I, but Shaun had a 3-1 record. Yeah, that's right. Shaun 3-1. He's 22-18 on the season. Kicking our butts. All right. I went 2-4. I'm 20-23 overall. Aaron went 1-4. He's 21-22 overall. And of course, you already heard 2-4. So we're like 17-23 overall. Or sorry, 17-25 overall for the podcast. So not great, but we got some great games picked out for today, and we're going to win. We're going to win some bets. All right. So without further ado, I'm going to jump back into it. And with college, first game I got is the Navy Notre Dame game. I like the over. The over-under set at 51.5, and here's why. The Navy offense has been electric this season. They've really defied expectations. I don't think anyone saw this coming. They are 6-0 to the over this year. The only other team that shares that unbeaten record to the over, Miami. We've won some money off them this year too. The Fighting Irish have been unstoppable since their Week 2 loss to Northern Illinois, racking up 41 points per game in their last 5 matchups. So brace yourself. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I could see something like Notre Dame 37, Navy 24, something like that, which should be more than enough to get over that 51.5 points. Okay, so there's one. I also like the Washington-Indiana game. It's at Indiana. I think Indiana covers the -6.5 points here. Washington's 4-3. and that record really hides their struggles on the road. They've lost to Iowa and Rutgers on the road. Their other loss was a home game to Washington State. They're leaning on just 3 returning players from last year's squad. Meanwhile, Indiana, perfect 7-0, scoring 40-plus points and covering the spread in their last 6 games. They're really flexing. They're flexing, man. Number 4 offense in the nation, averaging 512 yards per game, and an 8th ranked defense, allowing just 282 total yards per game. I know this is their first the real big test, but Indiana has all the tools to pass with flying colors and more than cover the 6.5 points there. I'm surprised this isn't 10 or more. All right, going over to the NFL. First game I have circled here is Arizona at Miami. All right, I like Miami on the money line for this. So I like to put my money there, and I might even add a little more on the side because Tua's back. Tua has been clear to play. He's expected to play, and that makes his offense hum, right? Tyreek's going to be a player now. Even without Tua, I'd be kind of considering this game just because Arizona's not very strong. I love my Cardinals. They're very inconsistent. They haven't really shown me a lot to get me excited against a team like Miami. Also, Arizona's on a short week after playing a tough game against the Chargers, and it's a 10 a.m. local kickoff for the Cards, so it's even extra short by a few hours there. Season just hasn't been anything special for Arizona, but for 2-4 Miami, the game is very crucial for a shot at their 3rd straight wildcard spot. So I expect Tua to come out just slinging the ball, getting Tyreek back into it, and putting up a lot of points. Now, the next game I like here is the Baltimore at Cleveland. I like the over-under at 43.5. I think this game is definitely going over. Last year, the Browns posted the best defense in expected points added in the NFL. And even with struggling offense, the Ravens still managed to score 59 points in 2 games against Cleveland. The Ravens are now a beast, both on the ground and through the air. And since the start of last season, they're 9-3 to the over on the road, surpassing the line by an average of 5.2 points per game, scoring an average of 47.25 points per game. This season, they're 6-1 to the over, exceeding it by an average of 9.29 points per game and leading the league with an average of 56.86 points. That's total for the game, okay? The Browns offense, they're going to open up. Jameis Winston's going to be playing. He'll probably throw some picks, but he's a gunslinger. He's going to be throwing it deep just like Flacco did. And with the Ravens having the worst 4th quarter defense in the NFL, allowing 25 more points than any other team, garbage time should boost our numbers. Every Ravens game this season has gone over this total today, 43.5, okay? Lock that one in. All right, that's all I got for my picks. At this time, I'm going to hand it off to Aaron. Let's go, Aaron.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. We got another wonky episode this week. May have another one next week. Stay tuned for that. We wanted to get something put out there for you this week. Last week was tough. It was real rough. We're going to get back on the horse. We're going to get back on a heater. We're going to get back into it. And I'm going to start on my bets here. We're going to go college first. So I started off with the Oregon-Illinois game. It's in Oregon. We've got Oregon at 21.5 point favorites. I like that spread. I like Oregon in that spot. Illinois and Nebraska kind of seem to have a parallel right now. Nebraska's going into Columbus to face Ohio State, and Illinois is going up to Oregon. Both teams are not very good. That is Nebraska, and that is Illinois. Illinois may or may not be ranked at this point. I'm not sure. But they were ranked, beat Nebraska and Lincoln. I think that Oregon is just firing on all cylinders right now. I'm going to go with Oregon on the 21.5 point spread. My next game I got is Vanderbilt at Texas. No, not at Texas. They're home against Texas. Vanderbilt's got that dog in them this week, this year even. Vanderbilt's an 18.5 point underdog. Texas doesn't know who their quarterback's going to be. I like Vanderbilt here with the 18.5 point, getting 18.5 points at home. Then my last one for college, Little foreshadowing earlier was the Nebraska-Ohio State game. I believe it's dropped now, but I had them at 48.5 points for a total. I expect that Ohio State's probably going to score that by themselves. I think it's dropped down now to like 47.5. I think it's going to be like a 56-3. Could be like 56-9, but I'm sure Nebraska's going to miss a couple field goals. So I like the over on that. Jumping into the NFL, the first game that I've got is an alternate spread, Patriots at Jets. I went with the alternate spread on this because I'm not quite sure what we've got with the Jets right now. They beat the Patriots earlier in the year in New England, but they're still trying to figure out what they've got with Drake May. So I like the Jets to win this game. I think 5.5 points on the alternate spread is a good bet to go on that one. Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers are going to start getting their chemistry back. So I would go with the Jets at 5.5 on the alternate spread for that one. Second game I got, it's in Denver. The Broncos are going to be playing the Panthers. Panthers are not good right now. They haven't been good all year. They had one good game against Vegas. The Broncos are very good at running the ball. The Panthers are very bad at stopping the run. The Broncos are 10.5-point favorite. I fully expect this to be at least a 14-point win for Denver. Bryce Young is starting again. Andy Dalton got into a car accident and sprained his throwing thumb. So Broncos 10.5 is a pretty safe bet there. And the last game that I've got is the Niners and Cowboys under 47.5. Now, I may have mentioned this before, but the teams that play Detroit the following week end up losing, and typically it's losing bad. Last night, Minnesota played the Rams, and they lost. They didn't lose terribly, but they lost. So I would expect that this game, and I went back and forth on the over-under and the spread. I went with the under on it. It's at 47.5 right now. Cowboys are getting some key pieces back, but I just don't think there's going to be a lot of offense between the Niners and the Cowboys. So I'm going with the under 47.5. That may have moved by now as well. I haven't checked it today, but as of yesterday, it was at 47.5. Those are my college and my NFL picks. If you guys would do us a favor, go onto our sites. We've got some sweet shirts, sweatshirts. We've got pint glasses. We've got koozies. We've got stickers. We've got all kinds of stuff. Go on there, check it out, buy some, like and subscribe. And I'm gonna hand it over to Shaun now. Thanks, guys.
Hey everyone, Shaun here. Pretty brutal weekend for us last weekend, unfortunately, so went 2-4. But I had a pretty good week going 3-1. So hopefully going to keep that up this week here. For my college bets, I'm sticking with the service academies. Army came super close for me last week, just missed by a half a point. Unfortunately, gave up a 2-point conversion at the very end of the game. But Navy is playing Notre Dame this week, and Navy is also having a marvelous season. Scores a lot of points. I think they can hang with Notre Dame. And so I like the 13.5 that they're giving Navy on this game. So I would take Navy at plus 13.5 for this game. And then my other game, picking against the Huskers this week. They had a horrible game last weekend against Indiana. And so I don't see that getting any better going into Columbus against Ohio State. I hate picking the Buckeyes, but I do not see this even being close. So I like Ohio State by 25.5 points. I think they win by 35 in all honesty. So even with garbage time points and those types of things at the end of the game, I don't see this one even being close. On the pro side of things, I'm sticking with my boys, the Packers, 3.5 over Jacksonville. Jacksonville is not a good team this year. It is in Jacksonville. It is an away game, but Packers are starting to hit their stride. I like how their offense is looking. Defense is playing pretty solid as well. And so I like to see Green Bay win by at least a touchdown in that game, but I like the 3.5 spread in that game. And then Philadelphia and Cincinnati. is the other game. Philadelphia is a 2.5-point underdog in this game. I like Philadelphia in this game. Again, it's in Cincinnati. Cincinnati's playing a little bit better, but I like the Eagles in this game. I like them at 2.5. I see that line probably going down here in the next day or two as more money comes into it. But I really like the Eagles at plus 2.5 in that game, and the Eagles could outright win the game as well. So hopefully, again, we have a better week. We'll come up with our picks here and see what the other guys think and say going into it. And I'll send it back over to Dennis and hopefully get our bets in and win some more, get back on the winning track this week. So thanks, folks.
All right, there you have it. You've heard all of our bets. Offline, we all came together kind of via text, argued, battled, screamed at each other, made each of us see each other's point of view, and we agreed to 4 bets we're going to be placing this weekend. Okay, so for college, we're going with Indiana. Indiana, 6.5 points to cover versus Washington. And then we also took the Nebraska, Ohio State over 47.5 points. We all think Ohio State might cover that on their own, unfortunately. We also took Green Bay minus 3.5, and then we took the Cleveland-Baltimore game over 43.5. So there it is. There's our 4 bets. They're locked in. They've already been bet legally in Iowa. Disclaimer, it's weird not having Aaron say that, but the cool thing is you can buy a shirt right now on our store that says disclaimer. You should go buy it. It's awesome. All right. That's it, guys. Those are our bets. The one thing I want to throw out there, Shaun did have a buckets of cash bet this weekend. We haven't been doing it that much this year, but he has a buckets of cash, and that is for Lando Norris to win the Mexican Grand Prix at plus 260. Let's get it. Let's get that money. Otherwise, thank you for listening. Please think about subscribing to our YouTube channel. We're at 38 right now. We need 12 more to get to 50. 50 is a big milestone for us. We will give some stuff away if we get there. So please think about doing that. Otherwise, make sure you hit like, follow us wherever you listen to your podcast. Thanks for listening. Let's go win some bets.